In the mists of ancient Europe, where Roman eagles once soared and barbarian warriors carved kingdoms from blood and steel, there existed a dynasty unlike any other. For 3 centuries, they ruled not through conquest alone, but through something far more mysterious, something that flowed in their very veins. They were called the long-haired kings, the Merovingians. And their story is one that the victors of history would prefer you never heard. This is the tale of Childeric III, the last of his ancient line, the final keeper of secrets that stretch back to the dawn of European civilization, and the hidden war that would determine whether Europe's soul belonged to the old gods or the new. Paris, 751 AD. In the shadowed halls of a crumbling palace, a figure sits alone on a throne that has known the weight of kings for 300 years. His hair cascades past his shoulders in waves of silver and gold, hair that has never known the touch of blade or shear. This is Childeric III, and he will be the last. But to understand why this moment matters, why the cutting of this man's hair will echo through the ages, we must journey back to the forests of Germania, where a legend was born in blood and mystery. The year is 448 AD. The Roman Empire convulses in its death throes. Across the Rhine, barbarian tribes gather like storm clouds, sensing weakness. Among them, a chieftain named Merovingian leads the Salian Franks, not just another warlord, but something different. The chroniclers whispered strange things about Merovingian. They said his mother had been visited by something from the depths of the sea while she bathed. A creature of scales and divine fire that left her with child. Nonsense, perhaps? The ravings of superstitious monks. But then why did every Merovingian king who followed claim descent from this aquatic mystery? Why did they refuse to cut their hair, claiming it held their royal power? Why did they rule for 3 centuries while other barbarian kingdoms rose and fell like wheat before the scythe? The Merovingians were different. Their enemies knew it. Their subjects felt it. And their descendants would die for it. When Merovingian's son Childeric I took the throne, he didn't just rule the Franks, he commanded them. Contemporary accounts describe him as possessing an almost supernatural charisma. His hair, worn long in defiance of Roman custom, seemed to shimmer with its own light. His warriors would follow him into the very gates of hell. And perhaps they did. But it was Childeric's son who would truly shock the world. Clovis I, the Merovingian who would unite all of Gaul under his rule and make a choice that would echo through the ages. The Battle of Tolbiac, 496 AD. Clovis faces the Alemanni horde. His forces are outnumbered, surrounded, facing annihilation. In that moment of desperate darkness, witnesses claim Clovis raised his arms to heaven and cried out, not to the old gods of his fathers, but to the Christ God of his wife Clotilda. Jesus of Nazareth, the chroniclers record him saying, "If you grant me victory this day, I shall become your servant." The tide of battle turned. The Alemanni fled. And on Christmas Day, 498, Bishop Remigius of Reims poured holy water over the long hair of Clovis, making him the first Germanic king to convert to Christianity. But here's where the official story gets interesting. The bishop's words at that baptism were recorded by multiple chroniclers. "Bow your head humbly, Sicambrian. Worship what you have burned, burn what you have worshipped. Standard conversion language, you might think. Except for one problem. Clovis wasn't a Sicambrian. The Sicambrians were a different tribe entirely, one that had vanished centuries earlier. So why did the bishop use that specific word? What did he know about Clovis's true ancestry that the chroniclers dared not write? Modern historians dismiss such questions. They prefer their narratives clean, their motivations simple. But the medieval world was never simple. It was a place where bloodline determined destiny, where ancient powers stirred beneath the surface of Christian Europe, where a king's hair could hold the fate of nations. After Clovis, the Merovingian dynasty exploded across Europe like wildfire. His sons divided the kingdom, but each ruled with that same mysterious authority. Theodoric in the east, Clodomer in Orléans, Childebert in Paris, Clotaire in the north. They were called the Rois Fainéants, the do-nothing kings, by later historians. A convenient lie. These men conquered territories from the Rhine to the Pyrenees. They defeated Ostrogoths, Visigoths, and Burgundians. They made the Byzantine emperor himself tremble. But more than conquerors, they were something else. Chroniclers describe them performing miracles, healing the sick with a touch, commanding loyalty that bordered on worship. Always, always, with that hair flowing like liquid gold beneath their crowns. What secret did they carry in their bloodline? What power flowed through their veins that made them more than mortal men? The answer lies buried in archives. The church would prefer remained sealed.